first glimpse of our 2025 team kit for St George Continental cycling team. Now there's a few changes for this year, so it's getting made by Santic, and they've done a great job of coming up with a brand new design. Slightly different colours, totally different design. Now I think the team's existed for maybe 10 years, something like that. And I actually think this is one of the most underrated development teams in the world. When you look at the list of riders who've actually made it to Pro Conti, World Tour, Professional on the track, things like that, there's so many that have come through this team, and the design of the kit has remained much the same, so it's really cool to just mix it up a bit, modernise it, and I'm really loving it. So this ride today, it's what's called a SAP ride, or Sustained Aerobic Power, which is a fitting acronym because it really does sap you over time. So below LT1, sort of a solid zone 2 pace all day. So right now I've done 273 watts for an hour and a half, and just aiming to basically stay around there for the whole ride, essentially for about 5 hours. And the reason for this is just to get used to riding really hard for a long time. Now you definitely don't want to do all your zone 2 training at this sort of intensity, you'll burn out really quickly. Even in Pogac's interview, he was talking about how the top of his zone 2, for example, was 320 watts or something like that. And he does say he does rides where he rides there for most of the day, but then he also says, I don't ride the bike the next day. So it's still hard. It's not like it's just easy tapping zone 2, even if the top of your zone 2 is really high like that. Gonna press on with the rest. Made a mistake, didn't get enough food from the supermarket, or didn't get my usual stuff to take with me, so gonna have to stop and get some along the way. Let's crack on and knock another hour or so of this out, or see how we're feeling then. Now when we do endurance training like this, or zone 2 training, we get calcium released from the muscle, and this acts as a signal for adaptation. But this is more related to duration rather than intensity. So why go that little bit harder? Well, it's just because you're going to get a different amount of muscle glycogen breakdown, you're going to have slightly different muscle fiber recruitment, psychologically you're going to have to push hard for a long time, and things like that. But it is a lot more fatiguing, so this is why you don't want to do it all the time. So windy! Grim! Alright, just over 2.5 hours in, 281 average. Almost in pro gear. I am almost completely out of food, so just gonna go top up. Quick stop for food, touch under 3 hours in, just a few minutes to go, and we'll click over that. 280 watt average so far. And so thought, obviously, talk about food. It's important not to underfuel on a ride like this, but one thing people get wrong with this is they just think about the morning of, the breakfast, and what they're going to eat on the ride. Was really for a ride like this where it's high energy turnover, you need to have started the day before, and not just the dinner, but like basically from whatever you did yesterday in terms of riding, exercise, anything like that. Basically after that, really need to start loading up for a ride like this. Also, while I'm at it, sitting here eating sugar and stuff like that, thought it'd be a good time to bring it back to food and kit. So you might have noticed my previous kit sleeves getting a bit baggy. Now there's two reasons for that. One was getting a little bit worn out, but two, I'm actually at about the lightest weight I've been at in 10 years. So nice to have some kit that's nice and tight, good fitting, good length. Really enjoying it so far. So it's actually day 3 of a 3-day block here, so a long weekend here. So Saturday, full gas for KOM, didn't get it. Best ever time, but 1 second off, Mark Stewart unfortunately, like a last road. It's quite happy with it though, given it's like a climb where it's got a couple of little downhills, and you can't just put max power out the whole time, so I was happy with it. Then some anaerobic efforts that day, sort of 30-second maxes. In between them, bit of threshold and stuff like that. Yesterday VO2 max work, pretty happy with the numbers given the day before as well. And today, finished off with this one. So the legs feeling it going in, but so far, going pretty well. over 4 hours in now. It's definitely feeling it, but actually still feeling quite good. Sort of crossed my mind, should I extend this out to 6 hours? And who knows, maybe my excitement will get the better of me, but sort of figured no, that's something old Boris would do. But new Boris wants to keep it consistent. I still want to do some hard training the rest of this week. Whereas I think if I do 5 hours today, take a day easy, I'll be good to train again. If I extend this to 6, it's going to write me off for several days, and to be honest, it's going to be a write-off until next weekend. Anyway, so far so good, just got to finish it off. Let me show you some boring loops around home as I do this last 50 minutes, and I'll talk you through some stats while we're riding home. So I ended up doing 186.5 Ks, as you can see there, 5 hours, 37.2 K an hour, which is a little bit slower than I would typically like for the sort of power output I was doing. But really windy out there today, so you just never get back what you lose in the headwind and crosswinds. 5,045 kilojoules, so that's the amount of work that's gone through the power meter, which 5,500 calories, kilojoules and calories, almost interchangeable, not quite. It's probably a topic for another video. 145 beats a minute, which is kind of a solid zone 2 pace for me, not quite the top, definitely above the bottom though. So yeah, really solid day out there. Definitely was fatigued afterwards, not on the limit, but feeling it a lot. But yeah, probably my last long hard ride I can do before nationals. There we are. If you want to see another video, click up on screen somewhere.